Steve Coughlin.
As a national security intelligence officer, I have a duty to make a call about who constitutes a national threat and who doesn't. Thank you. I'd like to kind of write in on that draft. We had someone talk earlier about the fact that Sisi stood before Al-Azhar and called out the violent extremist, radical extremist, violent people, fundamentalist. I could keep going here. He did not do that. He went to Al-Azhar and he told the imams at Al-Azhar, and that is as doctrinal and mainstream as it gets, that they are responsible for what's going on, not calling them radical, but recognizing that their tradition, meaning Islam to date, is, I think as he sees it, going to destroy the Muslim world.
مش معقول يكون الفكر اللي احنا بنقدسه ده يدفع بالأمة دي بالكامل ان هي تبقى مصدر للقلق وللخطر والقتل والتدمير في الدنيا كلها. مش ممكن يكون الفكر ده، انا مش بقول الدين، انا بقول الفكر ده اللي تم تقديسه، نصوص وافكار تم تقديسها على مئات السنين واصبح الخروج عليها صعب قوي لدرجة ان هي بتعادي الدنيا كلها. بتعادي الدنيا كلها.
Understand that the Quran, the scripture, and even the hadith, which are the legal sunnah, those sunnah that have legal implications, in and of itself, while it's the basis of Sharia, the threat doctrine, in and of itself, it's somewhat meaningless. In the same way that in the Torah or the New Testament, there is the lex talionis, an eye for an eye. It literally says that. But what comes on top of that is everything. Sharia is scripture and it is hadith. But what it really is millennia of usul al-fiqh, the science of Islamic jurisprudence, fiqh. That doctrine tells the devout Muslim what abrogation is. It tells the devout Muslim how to read any particular surah. The problem that Zuhdi has, and I'm a great admirer of Zuhdi's, and we have all kind of gone back and forth on that. But the problem he does have is if you're going to ask any moderate or academic Muslim who wants to read those verses differently than they have been over 1,000 years, he has to figure out a way to, as it were, replace the ulama, the legal authorities.
I want to turn to several individuals who are in other parts of this war I call the war for the free world, including some of those who are really leading the fight. We have a pre-recorded videotape by a prominent anti-Islamist leader on the continent of Europe these days. He is a Dutch parliamentarian by the name of Geert Wilders.
I've been asked to address the question, what needs to be done for the free world to prevail? My friends, the answer is easy. The largest threat to the free world today is Islam. And we must confront this threat. We must oppose it. How? Here are 5 important things that I believe we must do. First, we must tell the truth about Islam. The most important thing which we and the citizens of the free world must realize is that Islam is not a religion of peace. It is a violent, totalitarian ideology that wants to conquer and submit the entire world. Islam has declared war on us. Islam orders its followers to wage jihad. We see it all over the world.
يعني ال1.6 مليار هيقتلوا الدنيا كلها اللي فيها 7 مليار عشان يعيشوا هم؟ مش ممكن.
I put my life at the risk of a lot of Muslims just very recently, meeting with a lot of the Sisi's people. Okay, or people who are close to him, I should say. I support everything he's doing. He knows that what a lot of people don't know is the next day he had Al-Azhar imams come out and say what he said was apostasy. And when someone does an analysis of that, they have to say they're right. And we have to understand that they're right. And we have to understand that because it means, first of all, Sisi crossed the Rubicon in his own domain. There's no going back on that. And second of all, we support what he's doing, but we also have to understand that he's drawing on the current feeling inside Egypt that they just don't want to do that anymore. That's not moderate Islam, and we don't need to talk about it. We don't want to do it. And I'm all for that, so I think it's not good to use the words like moderate because you actually crouch those people out. You brand them moderate, that's what makes them get tagged by by the Al-Azhar imams. Just let that argument go. But it's important. Personally, I don't have a stake. I completely agree with everything you said. But I also think from the combat power analysis point of view, when we look at what Zudi says along with what the Imam of Al-Azhar says in any century, and we say, wow, it's like that. We can't pretend that that doesn't make a difference, not in our personal opinions. I could care less. But it makes a difference in how we do an estimate of the threat and how to defeat them and what it will take. I'll stop there.